Howdy, folks. I'm Terrible Terbium, tersely taunting teeming terrariums.
I'm Amber.
And here are more teeming terrariums for us to taunt. And I don't know why that would make me terrible, to be quite honest. It's not like terrariums are sentient. It's not like they would know that I was taunting them.
I mean, some terrariums have little critters in them.
Well, I mean, okay, suppose for a moment that I'm a giant, and that inside the terrarium are people. Then yes, I guess I am terrible. Let's get started. Oh, and folks, before we begin, you might notice that Amber and I are both wearing purple. Mine looks a little less purple on camera here, but we'll explain why during tea time. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Saying No to Dressing as a Disney Princess for a Wedding? So I'm a 24-year-old female, and I'm friends with Holly, a 28-year-old female, who's getting married next summer. Holly has always been a Disney girly. And I wasn't surprised when she told me and the other bridesmaids that she wanted us to dress as Disney princesses. Holly is going to wear a huge, glittery, gleaming ball gown, and will be in dresses that are more of a modern take on the princesses' dresses. But there will be text on the invite stating which bridesmaid is which princess and which groom is which prince. They mean groomsmen,
I
I'm
assume
sure they
so.
mean groomsmen.
Maybe they're all getting married and they don't know it.
Surprise! We're all getting married! There are 5 of us, and she wants each of us in a different color. So she has chosen Ariel pink, Cinderella blue, Belle yellow, Rapunzel purple, and Tiana green. She picked who would be who for us, and told me that she wants me as Tiana since I have black hair. The problem is that I'm white. The entire bridal party is white. You can see why I'm not feeling this choice. I've brought this up privately with Holly and tried to suggest alternates for green, Meridia or from Brave or Anna from Frozen. But she shot them down. Meridia's dress is actually blue. She has no prince, and she doesn't like Frozen. I told Holly that I will not be Tiana for her wedding and that I'm stepping down unless she accepts one of the alternatives that I have provided. She called me a bee and terrible friend and said that nobody is going to care. I told her that I care, and I'm not going to do it. I've gotten some Facebook messages from some of their family and friends asking why I'm being so difficult and why I'm trying to ruin Holly's wedding. And even a couple of bridesmaids have told me to just get over it because I'm throwing Holly's plan out of whack. I'm standing my ground on this, but the pushback is kind of having me wonder if I'm making something out of nothing. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
I don't think Opie's being a jerk here, but I do think she's making this a bigger deal than it really is. I mean, I think the main issue with dressing up as some of the Disney princesses as a white person is appropriating cultural garb. And I'm assuming she's talking about Tiana's green ball gown, which is just kind of like
A ball gown.
it's a ball gown. It doesn't have anything that's specific to Black culture. And so I think there's a big difference between that and then like expecting a white woman to dress in like full Mulan garb or
Yeah, like
something
if
like
if
that.
she was like, "Oh, I need you to dress in like these Asian style wedding gown type of things for this wedding," that would be probably a little distasteful in a lot of ways. But in this particular case, I don't know that this is going to raise any ire or flack. It's not, again, like Amber says, culturally appropriative in any way, shape, or form, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I mean, I would recommend looking into Disney bounding, which is a way of dressing Disney without wearing the exact princess dresses. It sounds like she's already kind of going for like a more modern look, so you're not exactly replicating Tiana's look.
Mm-hmm.
But you might, through Disney bounding, be able to find a way to kind of give Tiana vibes without it feeling too much like you're copying her.
Yeah, so I think OP's concerns are warranted. I can understand why they would feel uncomfortable with this, but I also don't know that this is going to be something that's going to have a huge amount of blowback or even is going to bother anybody. So,
Right. And of course, like OP's comfort is important at the end of the day, and she does have to take that into account. And if she just is like, oh, I still really don't feel comfortable with this, she's the one who has to live with herself.
yeah. So are you saying nobody's in the wrong? Or are you saying somebody's in the wrong? What about that bride's
I
reaction
think the
there?
bride is in the wrong for trying to be this coercive. Like, I understand wanting to have your themed wedding. I think that's fine. But I honestly think you should let people choose their princesses. Like, if I was having a Disney princess wedding, and I would have a Disney princess wedding, let's be real, I would let my brides. Well, I wouldn't make anyone dress up as a princess to begin with, but I wouldn't care if I had two Cinderellas or two princesses in pink or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like she wants to go for the whole rainbow thing. Sounds
Mm-hmm.
like she's trying to create a rainbow out of the princesses, and that's kind of an interesting aesthetic.
It is. I love the idea of that, and it makes sense to have Tiana because she has kind of a pastel green, which goes well with the other pastel-y dresses.
I love how her one hang up about her dressing up as Meridia is the fact that she doesn't have a husband or boyfriend or a prince or something
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
that and her dress really is kind of a teal color.
Maybe the men are supposed to dress up as the
I'm
counterpoints.
assuming that's probably the case.
Then just invent something. Make him wear a green dress too. I don't know.
Yeah, have the groomsmen dress as princesses instead of they could like Disney bound as
Oh
princesses,
yeah,
just wear
yeah.
like maybe a black suit, but like with a shirt and the color matching their princess.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I think that OP is making a little bit of a big deal out of this. Not OP, but rather the bride is making a little bit too much of a. Well, I guess both, right? Like they should both be listening to each
I
other.
think OP is overthinking it. Like
Yeah,
I don't think OP is in the wrong for having the feelings she has, but I do think that she's potentially putting a little too much thought into this more than most people would.
yeah. I think that's probably fair. I think that's fair. Well, let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Good with Salt says Snow White has black hair. And Mighty Bean 7 says maybe it's because the other princesses have a single color gown and Snow White doesn't, but who knows? And OP replies, that's exactly it. And even if just one was picked, there's already a yellow dress princess and a blue dress princess, so again, no go. I don't know why they're getting downvoted for
I
that.
know. I mean, it's just a statement of what the way the bride is planning the wedding.
And particular ad 1735 says, I don't think anyone would be offended if you were to dress as Tiana, or a modern take on Tiana, unless you wore blackface. Yeah, I mean, that right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that she doesn't want you to do that. And OP replies, if she would have asked me to wear blackface, then I would have blown up, to be honest. She did make a comment about how I should get a tan before the wedding. Oh,
That's
oh
kind of
no,
gross.
that's in poor taste.
Yeah.
So, even so, Tiana is a black character and I'm not black woman. I don't feel comfortable dressing up as a black woman, even if the skin painting isn't involved. Alright, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Husband That My Son is Important? Hello, Reddit. Throwaway account because my husband follows my main. I'm a 34-year-old female and I've been married to my husband, a 46-year-old male, for almost 4 years. I have 2 kids from a previous relationship. I have my son Liam, a 13-year-old male, and my daughter Reagan, a 17-year-old female. Their father left me a long time ago when Liam was 5, so I've been raising them alone until I met my husband James almost 5 years ago. My ex-husband left us because he preferred his mistress more than his own 2 kids and wife. This left my children heartbroken, and he isn't active in their lives anymore. Times were tough for me and my family back then, but James showed me love and compassion that I barely felt from my own family. James has been a great dad and has shown us that he really cares for me and my kids until recently. Both of my kids are in extracurriculars because I feel like it's really important for the kids to have sports because it helps them connect and bond with kids around their age and also who like to do the same sport. But recently, I've noticed that my husband, James, has stopped attending Liam's hockey games, but still goes to my daughter's football games. She's a cheerleader and does sideline cheer for her high school, but also other competitive cheer on the side with her friends. Every time in the past couple of weeks that I've tried to get James to come to Liam's hockey games, he goes, oh, I can't today. Such and such popped up at work. Or, I'm not feeling good today. Just take Liam, and I'll see if I'm up to it today. He has the weekends off, and Liam's games are on Saturdays, if that matters. But Liam's games are super important to him, and I can tell that he's kind of distant when James isn't there. And when he's in the car and I hop in to drive, he'll say something like, hey, where's James? He's not coming today. And I can tell on his face that he's bummed out when he hears that James isn't going to come. When it's time for Reagan's games, however, James is always ready, and is even early. When I get home from work on Fridays, he'll be ready for a game and have the car packed with snacks, bring a whole bottle of water for Reagan, and have stadium chairs packed in the car, and blankets for the game. My state gets super cold at night. This even is evident around the house. I'll wake up in some mornings and Reagan will ask James to put on some extra bacon for her or make some extra piece of toast for her, and he'll do it no problem. But if Liam asks him the same thing, he'll groan and go, "Oh, can't you just do it for yourself?" If Reagan asks James to drive her somewhere, he'll be fine with it. But if Liam asks him, he'll go, "All right, but remember, I'm not an Uber." I talked to my sister about my husband not being at Liam's games, and she told me I was being a jerk for expecting him to be everywhere my kids are, and that he's their stepdad, and he can only do so much. I feel like I'm at a crossroad, and I may be overthinking it. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, I don't think OP's a jerk here, and I'm getting some slightly creepy vibes from this one. Like, first of all, as a parent, you should not drastically treat your children different regardless of the reason. And so, even if there's some mundane
Yeah.
explanation like, oh, he and the son had a feud and they haven't recovered or something like that, that needs to be brought up and talked about and worked on, because it's not good to have like this differential treatment.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I don't know. There could be something creepy going on here or not, and it could just be that he favors his daughter and really just wants to treat her specially, and just feels like his son is a man and should suck it up and just get over it and do what he needs to do, because there is that kind of attitude for parents.
There is, and like that's why I'm saying that like no matter the motive, this needs to
Oh
be
yeah,
sit
yeah.
down and talked about and worked through, because he should not be treating them differently to this degree.
Oh, I agree completely. I don't think it's rational. I don't think it's justifying it. I'm just hoping that it isn't something more creepy.
Nefarious.
Yeah, I mean, I can see, because I've seen families that have had this kind of dynamic where the father really, it's like the daddy's little girl, and she can do no wrong, and she could just be the golden child for him, and he's really just favoring her in general, and he views the son, he's just not as close to the son, and views him as needing to man up and grow up and stuff like that.
Yeah, although it's very strange that it's kind of like a switch flip moment, because I feel like a lot of times that starts early on and continues throughout time. And so that's why I'm wondering if either one, there's something that went down between the stepdad and son that we don't know about and OP doesn't know about, or two, he's just kind of being a creep now about
Yeah,
the cheerleaders.
I hope it's not a creepy cheerleader thing, right? I really, really hope it isn't. I hope he's not like following her to the games just because he's, ogling the cheerleaders. That would be just awful, and I would feel bad for OP in that situation. So I don't know. I'm wish we had more information. This would be one of those situations where it'd be like, oh, I would love to know whether this guy is actually just being a creep or if he's just being like an overprotective father for type of figure. And regardless of all that, he really does need to treat his son not like he doesn't matter, right? Like, this is absolutely absurd that he's just kind of ignoring his son and being like, "Yeah, you go fix yourself, figure it out. I'm not Uber. Remember that."
Right. So, I mean, I think if it comes down that there's some non creepy reason, like they had an argument or something, that family counseling is in order.
Oh, yeah, I think family and counseling is really in order in general here.
But
If he's a creep,
yeah,
right?
if he's a creep, then probably divorce.
So, yeah, I agree on that. So, I don't think that OP's fears are unfounded here, and I'm just, again, hoping that it isn't something worse. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Silver Elix says, not the jerk. As a mom, I absolutely get weird vibes from this, and also feel so sad for Liam. You got this, Mama Bear. And OP replies, thank you. I needed to hear that. And Patricky27 says, I'm scared, girl. Please be careful. Protect your kids at all costs and make sure he isn't grooming her. It's just really suspicious. Please keep your eyes on him. See how he reacts at your daughter's cheering competitions and see how he interacts around with her at the house. If your daughter comes to you with something about your husband, believe her. And yeah, I actually think that's really a good point because so often people will be dismissive. And OP replies, thank you. I plan on updating this post later today when I figure this mess out. And Lady Ash Gray says, OP needs to check the phone to see what their communication is like, what they are talking about, and if he is taking her out to places, just the two of them. And OP replies, I plan on doing that this evening. I don't check my kids' phones regularly because I want them to have privacy. But me and my husband have an open phone policy, so I will be checking when I get back, unless he's deleted a bunch of messages.
Yeah, but usually you can see if the messages have been deleted, so at least then OP would know to go dig some more.
And Lady Ash Gray says the extra attention is also concerning. It comes off as love bombing. Is he buttering up her as your replacement? Not the jerk, by the way. And OP replies, I'm hoping this isn't true. My husband never is weird to her, but his recent attitude is making my head spin. He's always showed both of my kids equal attention, but now I feel confused. We would go on vacations with the whole family. He would literally jump and scream at Liam's games when he scored, but now I feel like he's gone cold. Maybe I wonder if this is, again, something to deal with between him and Liam then.
Yeah, it sounds like at least with what we're getting from this information, it sounds like he's cooled off toward Liam.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if he's blaming Liam for something that happened or projecting something onto Liam.
Yeah, because like you said, he seems to have maintained his same level of like cheering for his daughter, but when it comes to his son, he's like, whatever. You can figure yourself up. So I'm wondering if choice words were said between them or something like that. I think that this really does warrant some digging.
Mm-hmm.
And Queen Legolas says, have you spoken to your kids yet? And OP replies, Liam is at hockey and Reagan is at gymnastics. I've been at home reading these comments while my husband is out with friends for the next 2 hours. I've been at home and I'm reading these comments. I will for sure have a conversation with my kids when they get back, and my husband will be talked to later. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here that just happens to not be purple. And Amber, she's got a joke.
Daughter monster, Mommy, my friend Susie says I'm a vampire. That's not true, is it? Mother monster, of course not. Vampires suck blood. You didn't suck her blood, did you? Daughter monster, well, only once or twice.
What is Jovial Bobstein's deal with eating your friends? I do not get the obsession. I never took this book as promoting cannibalism, but apparently I was wrong. Now we're vampiring. Now we're eating people's guts. I don't know. I don't even know what to think about that book anymore.
Yeah, this was a book I had as a kid. I adored this.
And I have not Earl Grey, licorice spice. I almost probably gave somebody false hope there for a second. All right, and also Amber and I are wearing purple for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we've also are working with a local domestic violence charity, Partners for Peace, and we plan on taking the profits that we would normally allocate for the going to a charitable good for this month and putting them towards Partners for Peace. So we just wanted to let folks know that that's actually in the works there, and we hope to start a fundraiser and also have that ability for people to support that organization. They're a really good organization. They do a lot of good helping women get out of bad situations.
Yeah, so I can speak a little bit about Partners for Peace as I volunteer there. So I'm on their development and engagement committee. Partners for Peace is a domestic violence organization that serves Penobscot and Piscataqua counties. It is the oldest domestic violence resource center in the state of Maine and the third oldest in the country. And we're turning 50 years old this year, so really awesome milestone. And we serve people of all gender identities, all races, ethnicities, backgrounds. We try to be as inclusive as possible, and one of the recent missions of the organization has been to be more accessible. So, yeah, doing some really cool stuff, helping people.
Yeah, so that's really important to Amber, and like she said, she volunteers there, so she doesn't get monetarily compensated for her work.
No.
So none of the money that we raise will go towards Amber.
No, it's going straight into the organization.
Yeah, so hopefully we can do some good stuff here. And speaking of raising money, this month we are going to have raised about $20 for charity. So thank you for all your eyeball dollars. They're helping out a lot. But yeah, great job, everyone, and we're doing awesome stuff. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching, Happy, spectacular, special Sunday. Amber, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
We need some kind of moral advice, though, and or guidance. And you, since you're inhabiting my chair, must pay the toll of such advice.
All right.
And please, have it in the form of a cheer.
Don't be a creep. Support cheering 'cause it's neat.
I think that works. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.